Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Abby, and I will be guiding you through a tutorial on how I'm able to leverage VS Code to search my Salesforce metadata. My goal for this tutorial is to be as admin friendly as possible. So this will be showing you how to leverage the search features from metadata, but is not going into how to set up the terminal in order to do development work or to use GitHub in order to do a branching strategy. So hopefully one day maybe I'll record videos on that functionality as well. But today I wasn't able to find good instructions on how to do this preliminary step, but I feel like this will be really helpful. So here we go. The first step is to download VS Code. So you can find this just by Googling Visual Studio Code and going to the download section. So Visual Studio Code allows anybody to download this version. I'm on a Mac currently, so the version I've downloaded is this Mac version. So you'll follow the prompts and download it just like any other application to be completed there. So that's the first step, downloading Visual Studio Code. Secondly, we are going to want to download the Salesforce CLI integrations app or extension within Visual Studio Code. So when you first get to Visual Studio Code, you will navigate to these block icons here on the left. Feel free to leave open whatever you have open on the open screen, that's totally fine. But the package we're going to want to install here is the Salesforce CLI integration package. I have also went and downloaded most of the other Salesforce ones because all of them are helpful in their own way, but you can choose, but the least minimum that we need is Salesforce CLI integration. So you go through the steps here to install into the org. It takes a few minutes. But once that's complete, in order to use some of the functionality here, we do have to download a Java runtime environment. So I will leave a list of links somewhere included with this video. So please navigate there to have direct links to these web pages that I'm referencing. But yeah, we're going to need to download some kind of Java runtime environment. So I'm going to navigate back here. And for this particular use case, I need the 11 version download is what it says it needs. So yet again, I have Googled Java Kit 11, or I'm following these steps found in this Java setup from the Salesforce developers community. And this also has direct links to which versions of Java that you officially need. So you'll be able to find these through the documentation, leads you right to this page for the download. You do have to create an account with Oracle, but it's totally free. All I had to do was kind of log in with my username and password, and then it allowed me to download the extension. So you'll go down here and you'll pick obviously which runtime environment you need, depending on which kind of computer or application you're hoping to use this on. For me, I chose this Mac OS installer, so clicked here and followed the installation steps to get that installed on my computer. Luckily, that is the last installation step we need here, but all things, the tools and how they work together. So once that is installed, you will want to actually navigate to your Finder. So we need to open two things from our Finder. So we're going to search our computers first to open the terminal. So you can find the terminal under applications and then utilities. At least that's where mine is. Otherwise, you can search for terminal and it will open this up. Secondly, I need to search for Java virtual machines. So Java virtual machines is the application that we're looking for the file path for. So this is leveraged with that CLI integrations app within VS Code. So Java virtual machines is what we're looking for. Lastly, let's navigate back to Visual Studio Code and open up the settings page that we need to enter this Java file path into. So within Visual Studio Code, we use the Command Shift P in order to open up the search terminal here. So what I'm looking for is preferences. So I'm going to preferences open setting UI. So it'll open up this nice new tab called settings here. And then I'm going to be looking for Apex. So I typed in these search terms Apex. This is the setting that I'm looking to update here. See, it kind of gives us an example of what we're looking for. And that's where we're going to leverage the Java virtual machines and the terminal that we previously looked for. So I'm going to pull up my terminal here and then find my Java virtual machine. So the path we're looking for is we're looking to get to this contents home. So I'm going to click through Java virtual machines. Then I have more than one version here, but I'm going to this 11 version, and then contents, and then finally we see home. So what I'm going to do to find the file path here, something easier than writing it out myself, is I'm going to drag the home into my terminal, and that's where you see here it automatically populates my file path. So I just copied that and I pasted it into the settings here so that my CLI integration will work. So those are the last downloads and installation steps that we need to have here. So the final thing is setting up our Salesforce link. So what we need to do here is we actually need to create a project. So a project is the first thing that we need to create. Please excuse, mine is already set up, but I'm going to create a second one as an example. So first we're going to go back to our command panel. So we're going to use Command Shift P. Then we're going to create a new project. You do need the caret icon. That's just a way to pull those things in. So I'm going to create a project. Here, I'm going to give it a name. In my case, Abbey 2. Let's see if it spins up for me. It does not seem to. Create project, maybe if I pick that and then Abbey 2. Perfect. So now I'm going to need to create a save location for my project. So this does create a localized version of the Salesforce environment that I'm looking to search the metadata for. So I just need to pick a place to keep this. So I have mine under an Abbey folder here. So that's where mine lives. So now I have this nice new project that I can kind of start from scratch with. See, we can see here that all of the applications are starting to run. Looks like I have an error on my Java, which I'll have to investigate later. But the last piece that I'm going to do here is set our default org. So here's where I'm going to log into my sandbox, where I'm going to pull my metadata from. Granted, you can do this with production, but like all good things, we should do these in production first. So I'm going to be connecting to a sandbox so that I can search the metadata, because that's what's important to me, so I can see where fields are being used and things like that, so that I can make my automation more efficient. So in order to do that, I'm going to, again, look for the command panel. So Command Shift P. We're going to authorize an org. So I just start typing in my command here, and I'm going to authorize an org under SFDX. So here's where you pick which org environment. So mine is a sandbox, and then I'm going to give it a name. So here I'm going to match my name to my project, which is also matched to my sandbox. It's just my personal way, but however works best for you is also great. So now it is going to prompt us to log into Salesforce. So I'm going to do that with my regular sandbox credentials that I normally use. Hopefully I got that username right. Perfect, here we go. So what I need to do is I need to allow access to my org. So I'm going to allow that here. Now I've logged into my org, fantastic. Now we should be able to navigate back to our Visual Studio Code here. And now since our org is connected, we can tell that by our Abbey 2 here at the bottom that our org is connected. You can also click here and it should give you some kind of status about the connection each time you log in. Then lastly, I'm going to go pull the pieces of metadata that I'd like to be able to search. So by default, it does not pull everything in, so we kind of have to go pick and choose which pieces that we need. So I'm going to navigate to the cloud icon here on the left. And here in a minute, see it's populated all of the metadata components that I have to choose from. So I'm personally concerned mostly around automation. So what I'm going to do is first pick Apex classes and Apex triggers. So in order to start populating the metadata pieces that I want to be able to search, I find them under the cloud icon here, and then I select retrieve source from org. So this nice little download cloud button that's available for each line item. So I'm going to click here, and then this VSCode will start pulling in those pieces of metadata so that I can then search for them. So it does take a few minutes, but you're able to go through this list and choose which pieces you want. So I'm going to pick Apex classes, Apex triggers. What else would I want to pick? Probably things like the custom objects, which contains all objects, by the way, not just custom ones. I'm also going to want to pick flows because I'm starting to write a lot of flows. Where's that going? Flows. I'm also going to pull in our Flexi pages. So these are my Lightning app pages since my org is in Lightning. So I could tell where something is being used. And then last but not least, probably here at the bottom, I'm going to pull in our workflow rules and workflow rules. So all the way at the bottom here, I'm going to choose these workflow rules. So you have a lot of other options as well. By all means, peruse them all and see which ones you'd like to be able to leverage or which ones you want to be able to search. All not necessary, but you can pull in as many as you want, right? If you want to look at reports or queues or something like that, totally pull in whatever makes sense for you. So once all of these finish running, we see these nice little status bars here at the bottom. Once these are all complete, looks like it is, then I'll be able to use this search icon in order to pull or to search through the metadata. So as we can see here, let's type in something like account. Beautiful. Now we can see where all the references to account are. So what you're doing is you can type in the API name of a particular field, right? So if that's standard or custom, and then be able to search where all that is used. So here we can see that this is used in a class. Our account trigger class is also used in our account trigger test class, and so on and so forth. And it does break it down by type, which is super helpful so that you're knowing like these are all pieces of code, while eventually you get to things like page layouts and list views and things like that as well. So I hope this tutorial was helpful for you. Please let me know, ask any questions to your Salesforce office, and we hope to see you next time. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.